Making spirituality the backbone of everything that you do in all aspects of your life, that does not equate to sacrificing your desires. It doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice your dreams. It doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice your gifts and your talents. That is a program. That is in itself is a programmed idea. And in this video, we're going to talk about it. All right, so stick with me to the end. I am Tamara Tamu, bringing you another episode of Unleashed Alchemy, where on this channel, we talk about going against the grain so that you can live the soul-fulfilled life that you were put here to live. All right, period. So let's get into today's episode. And I want to start off by saying this before I go back to what I started the video with. The years that the locusts have eaten are now restored to you. What do I mean by that? Okay, and what does this have to do with what this video is about? Stick with me. First of all, what are the locusts? The locusts are programming, any limiting belief or story that has manifested in your life, any programmed projection that gave you the message or sent you the message that you somehow now, because you have embraced your role as an energetic being, that you somehow now have to sacrifice your dream, whether it was direct or indirectly. Okay, a lot of that sacrifice that we hear about when it comes to our spirituality, that is rooted and grounded in religious programming. Because if you grew up in a religion, and I'm going to speak specifically about my experience, it was all about sacrificing yourself, putting yourself last. So growing up in the Christian cult that I grew up in, all right, we attended two different churches, same cultish foundation, okay, same programming, same dogma. The hierarchy was this outside God that sits up looking down on people. That was a man. It was God. Then it was everyone else, whether you had a family or not, and then the church, and then you were on the bottom. You were last. Sacrifice. Okay, so that comes from religious programming. So here's what you have to understand. We have experiences that will come up in our spiritual odyssey that will influence you more and more to focus on your higher mind. You have experiences that will become opportunities for you to focus more and more on yourself as a cosmic energetic being. You will have experiences that will influence you to focus on the you that transcends time and space. So what will happen is that through that spiritually focused lens, you will naturally, it's sort of like this natural progression. Well, you will start to feel this heart tug to make everything that you do, you'll have this loving desire that everything you do will have a certain element that will provide support for other people and also raising their consciousness to higher levels. You'll have this heart tug where you'll just want to embrace, in any work or service that you provide, you'll want to make sure that it is aligned with your soul. That is why when people start to be unleashed into their spiritual science, then they start asking the question, well, what is my purpose? What is my destiny? And they're excited about it, but there's no need to ask that question because you'll be guided into that. And the way in which you are put here to perhaps support other people, it's not going to look like everyone else's. Your support could look like writing poems if you're a poet and you really want to put out your poetry, but now you're viewing it through a spiritual lens. Now you're saying, well, how can my poetry support other people spiritually? Well, that is a part of purpose if you want to put that label on it. Don't worry, the infinite intelligence will make sure that that support is expressed through you through each poem that you write. So you don't have to sacrifice your love for poetry because now you're embracing your role as a spirit, as an energetic being. You don't have to sacrifice that. Okay, so that is a natural progression that you'll want to make sure that you are offering, that your offering is rooted and grounded in spirituality. That's fine. If you're a painter, if you have a love, a desire to paint, well, now that you're on this spiritual odyssey, you don't have to push aside your paintings. You don't have to push aside your role as a painter, as an artist. Now it's even more effective because now you're allowing your cosmic self now to work through you and paint those pictures rather than you trying to sit there and come up with a picture. Now it's just, okay, Spirit, what message are we sending through this painting today? What spell are we casting through this painting today so that when someone buys my painting and they put it up in their home, how are they going to feel more peace? How are they going to feel more love? How are they going to experience more healing? How are they going to experience more prosperity? How are they going to experience more abundance? Do you understand? Okay, so in your level of wanting to support other people in what you do spiritually, this is not coming from some warped obligation. Because again, we're not talking about sacrifice here. So if you're thinking that and you're telling yourself, well, I should want my paintings to provide this, or I should want my service to provide this now because I have embraced my role as an energetic being. Well, first, take a step back and look at your intention. Because when you start getting into the I should do this and I should do that, that is where that warped obligation and where the sacrifice that is unnecessary can sneak in. That's not what we're doing here. So your desire to offer that spiritual inspiration to other people because you have experienced it for yourself, it is inspired. And it comes from a place of you just simply wanting to share the quantum leaps and improvements that have happened in your life since you have been reacquainted with the God within. So one more time, I'm going to say this again. The desire to support other people is not about sacrificing your desires, your genius, or how you desire to live in your life. The reason I'm bringing this up is because there's an idea that's floating around that when you make spirituality the backbone of your life, when you make your relationship with the great creator, with source, the number one focus, then it's got to come with all of these sacrifices where you sacrifice your dreams, your feelings, your needs, your relationships, your business, your career, family. That is a lie. That is a no, 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 a billion times over. Infinite no. That is not the case. Again, that idea of sacrifice comes from religious programming. Here's what you have to understand as well. When you focus on your higher mind, when you focus on your cosmic self, when you're focused on your magic, and your intention is for your own improvement first, and then to be a source, an agent of positive change in all environments. When you focus on the kingdom of heaven within, the kingdom of heaven is not out there somewhere. The kingdom of heaven is in here. When you focus on strengthening your intuition, what you desire, the life that you desire, is taken care of right down to the smallest detail. So, any type of retribution of any kind is owed to you. So this goes back to where I said that you don't have to sacrifice your emotional needs or sacrifice your feelings. So for example, if you feel like someone has said something that hurt you, you don't have to say, well, because I'm an energetic being, because I am now focused on my spirit, that I have to pretend like I don't want that apology, or I have to pretend like I wasn't hurt by what the person said or did. No. What you have to understand is that your focus now, being spiritually connected, any apology that's owed to you will be given. All right? Any money that you feel like you lost or you feel like is owed to you will be supplied in overflowing measure. Now, the how is none of our business, because remember what I just said. What you desire is taken care of right down to the smallest detail. So we can also look at this and say, well, this is what it means to be still and to know that your I am power is intact, and it is real, and it is bold, and it is confident, ready to do the work in your life. If you stand firm in your I am power, it will be worked through you. Okay? So I want you to understand this. There is no sacrifice that is necessary. We have to get out of that programmed idea. Lay it down in this moment. It is no longer yours. You do not have to ever pick it back up. Spirit takes care of every single detail. Do you think, I'm going to use this example again when I talked about the poet. If you're a poet, if you're an artist, do you really think that if you came into this world with a strong love and passion and genius for painting, for writing poetry, for bringing words together that sound like a song, do you really think that the infinite intelligence would say, okay, now that you've gotten reacquainted with the connection, now you have to push that to the side? Now you have to sacrifice that? Do you really think that? Not true. You do not have to do that. What will happen is that any dream that you have, because now that your focus is on your cosmic self, the way that it unfolds now you're in a space where you can receive in a way that goes beyond programming, that goes beyond what is considered normal. Now you are allowing. There's no resistance, there's no force, there's no sacrifice. Okay? So, with that being said, that is the end of the episode. But before we go, I want to remind you that there are ways that you can work with me. There are ways that I support people, that I can support you on your spiritual odyssey. There's the Unleashed Alchemy Magic School, which is always open for enrollment every single month. There is also one-on-one sessions that I do allow you to schedule. There's a 60-minute option, okay? And then there's also the 90-day package, okay? So I invite you to look at all of those options. There's also my newest book that I have, which is called Tales of a Money Maven, How Religious and Other Programming Has Fucked Up Your Money. That book is now available as paperback, on Amazon. Okay, I'm so excited to share that offering with you. And I feel like I'm forgetting. Oh, and I also want to tell you too that I do have complimentary offerings that I provide as support to you on your spiritual odyssey. All right, so all the links for all of that will be in the description box of this video. Check them out. If you have any questions for me, leave them for me in the comment section. All right, and until next time, cheers.